Ah, early morning. Oh, let's see how this works at 7:30 a.m. I'm starting to think probably no one's going to be showing up for this, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Clean my hands real quick. All right. Dry my hands off. I get the feeling there are far less people awake at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday than there are on a Sunday. Got a bunch of stuff, bunch of Yawara to get done first. I was running low on Purple Heart, so I made some Purple Heart Yawara, and also running low on these Kumaru ones, so I did 4 of those. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Saturday Staining. Ooh, looks like I need to get some more tung oil. Feels like it's running a little low. What's everybody up to this morning? All right. Got that one boiled up. Put this one up. If you got any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat. I know this isn't the most super exciting thing to watch. I'm just oiling and staining my projects from this week. So tomorrow morning at my Sunday finishing work live, tomorrow morning I can finish all this stuff up. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Bende. Yep, I'm really good at rubbing wood. Yep, kind of my thing. I've had a ton of practice. Absolutely. Yeah, I have. I've had a lot of practice rubbing wood, for sure. One of the kind of downsides to this is that a lot of the stuff that I do in this shop, for some reason, comes off looking unintentionally obscene. That happens quite a bit, actually. yeah, I've had a lot of practice. Oh, that's funny. Thanks for that, Bende. I needed a laugh this morning. I appreciate it. Now these Pocky you are here, these are made out of Kummeru wood. This stuff is awesome. You can tell. Yeah, right? This Kummeru wood is amazing, guys. This stuff has a Jenka hardness that's like between 3,200 and 3,700 pound force. These are, like if you bought one of these, probably be the last Uara you'd ever need, because these things will last forever. I think next week I'm going to make another bokken out of the Kummeru wood. I've made a couple of them. I'm thinking about possibly doing like a daisho set, like a long sword, a daito and a shoto set out of this wood. I haven't decided yet. I've only made 2 bokken out of this. I've got a limited supply of it. I haven't quite decided if that's what I'm going to do with the rest of it. Because once this lot of Kummeru wood is done, it is done. I will not be getting more, because I got lucky. This lot of Kummeru wood got gifted to my shop. It is not a wood I would normally buy because it's insanely expensive. But I had an acquaintance who was using it for a home construction project, and they had a bunch left over. They really didn't have any use for it, and so it came over to my shop for very cheap. I just basically paid to have it sent. And I have made a little assassin stiletto out of that Kummeru wood as well this week. I've got a few of these up on the shop already that are bigger, but they're kind of expensive because this wood is very hard to work and it takes a while to make. So I made a slightly smaller one, so I thought maybe I could sell that for a little less. Well, these assassin stilettos are freaking scary, man. These are based on a Hassansen or Hashishin design. This was considered like a one-and-done style weapon for assassins once upon a time. They would take this with them under, in a sleeve or a robe, find their target, put this up under the ribs into the heart. Then they would leave the scene. Back then, fire was pretty common, so they'd just find fire and toss it in. And bye-bye murder weapon. But please don't use my assassin stilettos for that, okay? Please, I don't want to end up on the news that way, all right? Please don't use anything in my shop to commit crimes, okay? Please. I don't want to end up on the news like that. All right. And I got this also almost sold out of machete wasters. This is for my Sealot Kali Eskrima people. This is a 3/4 inch red oak. All of my wasters and boken in my shop come with a guarantee. Most of them, if they break within 1 year under normal use, I will replace them free of charge. All you have to do is send me a photo and let me know how it broke so that I can figure out if it was an issue with the wood grain, or it was an issue with the wood, or if it's a design flaw. Because if it's a design flaw, I need to figure that out and get it fixed so that I can make my stuff stronger. Because the whole point of the wasters and the boken in my shop is I want you to buy them. I want you to get so much use out of them that you feel like you spent that money well. But I've had that guarantee in my shop for 3 years, and I've only ever once had a person come to me and say that something broke. And even in that one, it was a user error situation, but I took pity on the guy. He was new to Boohurt and didn't know how to properly pad his practice dummy with tires, so he was just hitting a straight up steel practice dummy with his waster, and it broke. And so I took pity on the guy and replaced it. But every boken, every waster, every practice weapon in my shop is guaranteed for up to a year. For the boken that are made out of Kummeroot, it is actually, I think my guarantee on those is 5 years. Because I can't imagine those breaking. I impact tested the first time I made a Kummeroot boken. I impact tested the shit out of it, and it didn't even dent. So those have a 5-year guarantee. But all of mine have guarantees on them. I got this Vampire Hunter blade that I can't decide if I want to tongue oil it or if I want to stain it. Screw it, we're going to tongue oil it. I made this is actually a cutoff that comes from when I make my machetes, and it just happens to be in a perfect shape for like a primitive knife or Vampire Hunter knife, depending on what you're using it for. And it's got a nice little bladed tip and a bladed front. The blade doesn't really do anything but help with the stabby. It's not exactly a cutting blade, but believe it or not, wooded weapons that have bladed edges like that can do damage. Heavier ones anyway. They don't cut necessarily, they more like split the skin. This one will get a cord wrapped handle tomorrow, and it'll go up on the shop on Sunday, along with a bunch of other stuff. I've got like 16 things I got to put up on the shop on Sunday. All right, I think that's it for the tongue oil stuff. What's everybody up to this morning? What are you guys doing up at this ungodly hour? You know what? This tongue oil hasn't been out long. I'm gonna since I'm running kind of low on that. That's right, I'll go pick some up later this week. now, before I do the staining on this staff, I got these Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie poster replica stakes that we're gonna try to torch up a little bit here. What am I making? Hey, what's up, Jose? What am I making? Well, right now, I just got done oiling and staining a bunch of stuff, a bunch of Yawara, I had a Vampire Hunter sword. What else did I do? I have a Machete Waster and an Assassin Stiletto, and now I am going to torch these Buffy the Vampire Slayer replica stakes. To kind of just make the grain pop a little bit. Let's see if my striker still works. There we go. I don't want to burn the wood, I just want to give it a little bit of a char. Also don't want to set fire to my wooden table. Go. All right, now they're burned up a little bit. I'll let those sit, and then later this week these will get a little coat of polyurethane just to seal them up, and those will go on the shop. Hey, Jose, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with me. Oh yeah, these probably won't get cord wrapped. These will just be the way they are. The Buffy stake doesn't have a cord wrap, so for this particular design in the movie, this is based on the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie of a stake she used in that movie. So we'll get those painted up this week and on the shop. I got another one that I got to paint this week too. So I got this, there's a lot of wood that I buy for my shop when I need exotic wood, and it's cheaper to buy it like in like a multi-pack. And the multi-pack always comes with this Okome wood, which I was never sure what to do with. And then I found out that this is actually a very common wood for making stage props. So I'm making a stage prop broadsword out of this. This is going to get a coat of primer later today. And then later this week, it'll get a coat of aluminum paint on the blade, and it'll get a handle wrap. And then you'll have, I did chrome paint the first time I made one of these, and that chrome paint is no bueno because you cannot like touch it at all. And it's almost impossible to paint something like this where someone's not going to end up touching the blade. Even with a clear coat, for some reason, if you touch it, it mars the paint. I'm not sure what's up with that chrome paint, but we're going to try aluminum-based paint this time and see if that works. So that should be ready by next week. And last, we got one more thing we got to do. If you got any questions, shove them in that chat. I got a Donatello Ninja Turtle bow staff here that I make for Ninja Turtle cosplayers. This particular staff is 58 inches long, and it is designed specifically for the 1990, I think it is, Ninja Turtle movie costume. It fits in the holder for those costumes, and it's 58 inches because those costumes, when it's on it goes on the back of the costume. At any bigger length, you're more likely to have it like drag on the ground or catch it on stuff. So I made them 58 inches just to make them slightly shorter. Still long enough to look like a staff. Not so short that you're like, oh, that's a really short staff. But anyway, it'll get a cool little, it'll get a brown paracord cord wrap in the center. And that's, with that on there, it fits just fine. So if you're new here, I do Saturday staining every morning now at 7:30. I used to do it every Saturday at 12:30. But it's going to be at 7:30 a.m. on Saturdays moving forward. Mostly because I'm kind of changing some of the ways I'm doing stuff in the shop. Instead of doing all my work on the weekends, I'm going to do like an hour or two of work in the mornings and afternoons before I go to work, so that I can kind of get my weekends back. Because the truth is I work every single day, and it's kind of, I'm burning out, you guys. So that way I can take my weekends to maybe just, you know, have a little bit of a break. And I only have to come to the shop in the mornings to do Saturday staining and then Sunday finishing work, instead of spending my entire Saturday in the shop and most of my Sunday in the shop. Because the truth is, my day job is literally in the same building as my shop. So it doesn't make sense for me to be coming over here on weekends as much as I have been, when I can just come over here, do a couple hours of work each day during the week, and get it all done. Let's go over there so I don't get stain on them. World Free Speech, this is a really weird place for you to come with that. Like you came on a woodworking prop shop live to talk about who invented Bitcoin. I don't feel like that's reaching the audience that you think it is on this live, my guy. I also use a different kind of wood on this particular Donatello staff. I'm experimenting with a new wood with it. We'll see how it looks. If I may or may not like it. If I don't like it, I'm just going to auction this thing off. But always mix your stain. It separates when it sits, so always make sure you mix it well. Otherwise, you'll end up with a clear coat by accident. I know that because I've done that by accident before. Yeah, actually, I think this might end up looking nice. I used to make these out of maple blanks, but the company that I used to buy the blanks for these went out of business, apparently. And so I can't get the blanks anymore. So I'm trying some new blanks because I don't want to make them more expensive. And so I tried to find some new blanks that are inexpensive. We'll see if they hold up. I mean, these are mostly cosplay stabs, but I still want them to be moderately functional. So I still got to impact test them a little bit just to make sure they can hold up to at least, you know, just some basic hits, you know, like kata style stuff. And if it does well, then I'll start making my Donatello bow staffs out of this. And if not, this will get auctioned off on eBay and I'll try something else. All right, I think that's, make sure the tips are good. You always got to check your tips. Just the tip, though. I'm sorry. That was unnecessary. That was unnecessary. I feel bad now. All right, let's go put this bad boy up. Woot woot. Holy crap, is that it? I think that's it. Am I done? Woot woot, I am done. Wiener. Thanks for that, Josie. Wiener. Oh. All right, you guys. That is it for my staining stuff for this week. Unless somebody's got questions or wants to see something. Let me put some of this stuff up real quick. All right, grab these. My Saturday staining lives are usually pretty short. My Sunday lives are a lot longer. They're usually about 2 hours, sometimes 3, depending on how much stuff I've got to get done. Tomorrow will probably be about a 2-hour one. Hey, I appreciate that, Shozy. Thanks so much. You have a good day, too. I'll be on tomorrow morning, as usual, for Sunday finishing work. If you're up at that ungodly hour, I'll be live tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time to get all this stuff finished. So, thanks for hanging out with me, though. I appreciate it, as always. I would keep you guys around while I do my painting, but I gotta run all my air scrubbers when I paint in here, so it's a little loud and not exactly great. But excuse me, I'm gonna go put this away. But if you got any questions, drop them in the chat. I will gladly answer them before I head out. Or if there's something in my shop you want to see, if you're interested in anything, I got some time. I might do a show and tell. One thing I'm probably going to be working on to finish this week, I've got a custom order for this. It's a custom Native American War Club. It's got kind of a weird profile to it. It has this huge counterweight on the bottom. It's almost shaped like a rifle stock, but it's not quite a rifle stock club. But this is a custom order. They want a Green River knife blade embedded in the wood, so I'm going to embed that right about here. And yeah, that's going to be, I think that's going to be cool. It's already shaped and sanded. I just got to, there's some teeth that are going to get cut in the wood. 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom, above and below where the knife blade goes. I've got to, unfortunately, my bandsaw decided to die on me right before the holidays. So I got to get my bandsaw fixed so I can get this thing finished. I'm hoping we get it fixed this week so I can get those teeth cut in. Then I got to figure out how to embed that Green River knife blade. I'll show you guys what that blade looks like. So originally the buyer wanted a dagger style blade, so I got a dagger blank. But once I kind of sent them, you know, some concept photos, they didn't quite like how the dagger blade looked. So they changed their mind, decided they wanted a Green River blade instead. I can get this thing out of here to show you guys. Oh, open. Open, damn you. All right, so never mind. I guess that doesn't want to open, so we're just going to do it the easy way. Get this bad boy out of here. There we go. So that's what they want now. They want a Green River style blade out of here. So that's going to get embedded in the wood. I'll cut the tang probably about a quarter of that off. And that'll get embedded into the wood with epoxy and some other stuff. And they will have a cool indigenous war club. This is based on a museum piece that they found. It's unusual though. It has a really similar profile to like a rifle stock club, but it's really not a rifle stock club because you wouldn't have enough wood on a rifle stock to have that counterweight on there. But it's like they liked that profile, so they made one. But that counterweight's nice because it really takes the weight out of the front. This is rosewood, which is extremely dense and heavy, and so that counterweight at the bottom really makes this easier to swing compared to I think what it would be without it. I think it'd be really front heavy because of that wide taper at the top. I think it would be way too front heavy without that extra piece of wood at the bottom that kind of balances it out a little bit. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to look when all's said and done. Hopefully I'll get this finished before the end of January. That's my hope. I don't like keeping my custom order buyers waiting for too long. But I was actually waiting on this to show up, and now I got to get my bandsaw fixed so I can get that bad boy done. All right, put these up. All right, you guys. Yeah. If anyone's got questions, now's the time. If you don't, I'm going to call it a day. I go home. I've got a crap ton of stuff I've been procrastinating on this week. My ADD's executive dysfunction has been in full effect this week, but I got to go home and do laundry. And I got an Apple Watch for Christmas, so I need to set that thing up. I need to unpack from Christmas. I went to visit family for Christmas, and I just got back, and I have not unpacked. I've been home for like a week and a half, and I haven't unpacked. So I should probably do that. And just, groceries and all that kind of stuff. So I got to go do some adulting. Anyway, I'm going to head out. As I said, Sunday Finishing Work Live will be tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time if you're in the U.S. I'll be on a lot longer. I'm usually on for about 2 to 3 hours on Sundays. So if you want to see what all this stuff looks like when it gets finished and heads on to the shop, come hang out with me tomorrow morning. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me this Saturday. I wasn't expecting anybody to show up, so I really appreciate all of you. I appreciate the likes, the comments, really appreciate it. Warrior Wood and Props, you can see my link to my shop is in my bio. Recommend going to the eBay shop. Don't go to warriorwoodandprops.com. Shopify sucks, and for some reason my shop's not working. So stick with eBay. I'll be on eBay. If you're interested in a custom order, hit me up with a DM on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, or you can go over to eBay and send me a message on there. I'm out of here, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you tomorrow. Oh, wait, hang on. Do I make wooden robots? No, I don't. I don't make wooden robots. No, that's That's definitely not something I'm making there, Stevie, but thanks for the question. All right, you guys, I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow.